Hello fellow ponders, fellow pond lovers. We ripped out a pond that was only 6 months old, a stream, living stream that was only 6 months old. And actually it's supposed to be a living stream, but they gave up on the living stream part and were treating it with chlorine when we got here. And that wasn't working either. They still had tons of algae and a bunch of mosquito minnows. We're gonna go over why that is later in this video. But when we came in, we knew we had a big concrete cistern here to deal with, and we ripped that out. And then we went to tear the stream out, which all we could see when we did the job was rubber and mattress padding under the rubber. But then after we actually pulled all the rocks out and pulled all that rubber out, what was underneath the rubber? 4 inches of concrete. So in order to get that nice wide stream bed and create the ponds within the stream that we wanted to create, we had to rip all that concrete out too. So it took us a little longer than we thought to do the demolition, and that's the toughest thing about bidding demolition is how long will it take? You don't know what's underneath what you're seeing. But we got that taken care of, and we created a stream that will support fish life, it will support life in general, it'll support plant life, and many of the things that somebody doesn't think about along the way because all they're thinking about is how to run water downhill, we're taken care of by the Pond Gnome team, who understands that streams need to move and bend. They shouldn't be straight line. Streams need to have deep pockets within them. Everywhere where there's a waterfall, the water should cut a pocket, create a place for life and create a place for plants to hold up when the power's down. What an amazing job the Pond Gnome team did, creating this natural waterway out of what was once a complete fiasco. So let me take you for a walk through the details of this project and show you why it is so much better than it was before. So this awesome character stone that was drilled and set up as a bubbling rock at the headwater for the original feature was creating all kinds of dead zones because they basically built a pool and set this right in the center of it. So the water was coming off one side, but trapping a dead zone above the bubbling rock. So what our guys did, we didn't want to waste this bubbling rock. We put in a biological filter system and a waterfall for the patio, which we'll show you next. But we didn't want to waste this beautiful character stone, so we plumbed it in the center point of the stream. And when you're looking at this from the swimming pool area, you actually are looking at two waterfalls. The waterfall created by this character stone and the waterfall we created in front of our biological filter. Absolutely cool. So as you can see from our surroundings, this is basically a wildlife pond. It's a living stream. It's got a couple of pools within it. There's absolutely going to be heron and egrets and raccoon and who knows what other kind of fishing birds that are going to be looking for a meal in here. And we're going to give it to them. We've been floating feeder goldfish in here. Now, most people buy feeder goldfish to feed their pet snakes. We buy feeder goldfish to feed the wildlife that visits our ponds. So these aren't pet fish. They're not fish that you give names to and fall in love with as a rule. I will say there are people that do it. But in this case, what we're after is some colorful movement within the water and something attractive for the fishing birds to visit and look for. And our clients can look out the windows of their homes and see something that looks like a pterodactyl hanging out in their stream in their backyard. So if the first greatest invention of the modern pond is the skimmer, then the second has to be the biofalls. We used a biological filter which is filled with media for zooplankton and bacteria to do their thing in converting bird waste and fish waste into plant food. But it also lends itself very well as a frame to build natural looking waterfalls like this one. Now the original build had that character stone in the middle of this pool and it was bubbling straight downstream, so from over in the living area you couldn't see any moving water at all. You could hear it, but you couldn't see it. By setting this biofilter angled towards the living area, just burying the biofilter in boulders creates an automatic, beautiful, natural looking waterfall which flows down into our dog leg, and then we just turn the water straight down the hill. The other thing it does These biofilters, the way they're built now, they create plant pockets. We've got cuttings of butterfly bush here. Ultimately, this will be a big green butterfly bush covered in queen butterflies and a few monarchs. And it just absolutely a spectacular way to top off what is essentially the perfect biological filter system. I mean, look at how beautiful this is, and you're looking right at the biological filter system for this. Not a 50-gallon drum, not a big black box, but something buried in boulder work and made to look like a spring welling up naturally from the landscaping. It's just a spectacular product that's made to make the job of creating natural-looking streams so easy, and it's so functional. It's absolutely my second favorite invention to make the ponding world easier. That's it. Enjoy the lifestyle.